Hello and welcome to Daf Yomi B'Halacha. We're learning Siman Tov Tzadi Vov, Halachas of Yom Tov Sheni. We discussed last time Yom Tov Sheni is a special day, extra day of Yom Tov in Chutz La'aretz, and we said it has the same dinim as Yom Tov Rishon. We treat it like Yom Tov Rishon, with the exception of Kvura. That means that if there's a person passes away on Yom Tov Rishon, then only Goyim will involve themselves in the Raisa elements of the prohibitions of Kvura, of burial. On Yom Tov Sheni, Yidden are involved in the Kvura, although involved Deraisas. The other exception is with regards to Refuah. Now, although generally there's an issue of Refuah to take medication on Yom Tov, on second day Yom Tov, this is waived. Let's see the halachos in Sif Gimel of somebody who is either Ben Eretz Yisrael, that means in Eretz Yisrael, as we know, they only keep one day of Yom Tov, and they come to Chutz La'aretz for Yom Tov. And therefore, the question is how are they meant to behave on the second day of Yom Tov in Chutz La'aretz. And similarly, the other way around, we'll learn Be'ez Hashem, somebody in Chutz La'aretz who goes to Eretz Yisrael, what is he meant to do? Says the Shulchan Aruch Sif Gimel. Right, Tov Tzadi Vov, Sif Gimel, page Kuf Gimel. B'nei Eretz Yisrael, people from Eretz Yisrael, Shebo l'Chutz La'aretz, they come to Chutz La'aretz, outside Eretz Yisrael. Asurim b'melach, lasos melacha b'Yom Tov Sheni b'Yishuv. They may not do melacha in Chutz La'aretz, in a settlement, afilu da'atei lachzor, although they plan to go back to Eretz Yisrael. So for them, really, there's only one day of Yom Tov. Nevertheless, if they're in a Yishuv, in a settlement, they're not allowed to do melacha even on the second day of Yom Tov. The Yishuv, but until they've reached a settlement, afilu ein da'atei lachzor, even if they don't plan to go back. Mutter, nevertheless, is mutter. They've not yet become ben Chutz La'aretz. They only have to keep one day. The fisha until they settle in a Jewish area, or in an area, I should say. Then the din is that they can still keep one day on. Once they reach an area of settlement, and they don't plan to return, they become like a ben Chutz La'aretz for also ben b'mid ben b'yishuv. Once a ben Eretz Yisrael enters a settlement in Chutz La'aretz and he plans to stay, then he becomes a ben Chutz La'aretz and he must keep 2 days of Yom Tov fully. If a person is beyond the tchum, that means he's not yet reached the tchum. The tchum is an area outside of a city, the natural band outside a city, about a kilometer beyond the city, that's called a tchum. So until a person reaches this boundary of a tchum, then he doesn't have the dinim of that particular town. It's not considered as if he's entered the town. Let's see this halacha again with the Mishnah Berurah. So again, Shulchan Aruch starts off with the Ben Eretz Yisrael, this fellow who only keeps one day Yom Tov, and he comes to Chutz La'aretz for Yom Tov. Shulchan Aruch said if he enters a Yishuv, a settlement in Chutz La'aretz, he must keep 2 days. Sivkot and Gimel, meaning he has not allowed to do melacha even on the second day. Sivkot and Tes, the noisnen of chumrei mokum sheholach l'sham, we give to him the stringencies of the place he's going to. V'afilu b'tzina asa, even private, he may not perform melacha. Like we learned above, similar to halacha, as we said a few simonim ago with regards to doing work on Erev Pesach. Some places don't do the work, some places don't do work in the morning of Erev Pesach, and there's similar halachas apply there. Nevertheless, if he does malacha, he doesn't go into chayrim. That means it's not really a yom tov for him. The reason he mustn't do malacha is because it's offensive to the place that he's going to, the place that he's in Chutz La'aretz. And therefore he can't even do betzina. Inevitably, everything gets found out. He can't do even betzina, even private. He can't do malacha in Chutz La'aretz where he is in that particular settlement. But he wouldn't be put into chayrim, unlike somebody who is a ben Chutz La'aretz, somebody who comes from Chutz La'aretz outside Eretz Yisrael and he does malacha on second day Yom Tov. We said earlier in the simile, he gets put into chayrim if he does malacha, even the Darbonon if he does, as we said yesterday. He's put into excommunication because for him it's a Yom Tov. But this fellow came from Eretz Yisrael. He mustn't do malacha because of to act in the way of that they do in Chutz La'aretz. But if he does malacha, he doesn't get put into chayrim. The Yishuv. Once he's entered a settlement in Chutz La'aretz, he can't do malacha. If, however, he's left this settlement and he's gone to an empty area, he no longer has to treat himself like the dinim of second day yontif chutz la'aretz. He's planning to go back to Eretz Yisrael. He's really a one-day yid. While he's in the settlement, he may not do malacha even b'tzina. When he leaves the settlement, he can do malacha. Chol's mentioned the Yisrael. Says the Mishnah Berurah, because the Poskim say, the Yishuv in this respect, a settlement is referred to as Nikra Yishuv Shad Yisrael Dafka. It's only when he reaches a Jewish settlement. Chol's mentioned if he hasn't reached a Jewish town, he doesn't have to he doesn't have to keep the halachos of second day yontif. Because for him, furthermore, the toichat tchum, as long as he's still within the tchum of the city, he's considered still within the city itself. The Torah Snag, he has to pay himself as they do as a ben chutz la'aretz. Again, although the Mishnah Berurah does talk about a yishuv being a yishuv of Shad Yisrael, at least in this respect, that if somebody comes from chutz la'aretz, a real Israeli, he just come for yontif, and he's spending yontif in yishuv in a settlement in chutz la'aretz, he has to keep 2 days. It means yishuv Shad Yisrael. It is difficult to quantify exactly what you call a Jewish settlement. Does it have to be Jewish people? How many Jewish people? Does it have to be 1 million of Jewish people? 1 million of Shemri Yontif, Shemri Torah Mitzvahs, Shemri Shabbos? What's called exactly a Jewish settlement? And that is not clear. It's discussed in the Dushu notes over here. But Moshe Feinstein says, even if there's just a few yid and it's called Yishuv Shad Yisrael, the Yashav holds the same. Even if they're not Shemri Torah Mitzvahs, so the Yashav and Shemri Zalman say you can't do malacha there. But it's still not clear exactly what the geder of a Jewish settlement. I mean, surely there's Jews scattered all over the place. What would be considered a Jewish settlement? Okay. So the Shulchan Aruch has said, a complete Israeli is planning to go back. Then, while he's in chutz la'aretz in a Jewish settlement, he has to keep the dinim of Yom Tov Sheni. When he leaves the Jewish settlement, then he's in an empty area in chutz la'aretz. He doesn't have to keep the second day of Yom Tov. And we've said that within the tchum of the city, he still has to treat himself like the city. However, if he enters a city and he doesn't plan to go back to Eretz Yisrael, so now he is considered a chutznik, somebody from chutz la'aretz, and he has to keep 2 days. So in fact, if he enters even a non-Jewish settlement, the kivin she'ein data lachzor, entering a non-Jewish settlement in chutz la'aretz makes him a ben chutz la'aretz because he plans to stay here in chutz la'aretz. Nimshach acharei Medina shebalo sham is considered a chutz la'aretz person. Mekivin she'egia liyishuv shel bnei Adam, he's come to an area inhabited in chutz la'aretz where he's planning to stay in chutz la'aretz, and he has to keep 2 days yontif. V'yesh mi shemekel gam bozeh b'kamei b'data lachser boy she'egia daka shel yishuv shel Yisrael. For others, big the yesha who's making says no. Even with this halacha, the person who plans to stay in chutz la'aretz, he only has to keep the dinim of chutz la'aretz when he enters a Jewish settlement, not when he enters a non-Jewish settlement. That's not yet considered a ben chutz la'aretz, although he's planning to stay. Sivkot and Yud Beis says the Shulchan Aruch, if a person reaches a settlement and he plans to stay, he becomes like them, and he may from that point on may not do malacha, not in the settlement, or even if he leaves the settlement because he's now a ben chutz la'aretz. Sivkot and Yud Beis ben b'midbar tzolema achar shenichnas liyishuv, once he's entered a settlement, even if afterwards he goes to an empty area, he's still a complete ben chutz la'aretz and he has to keep 2 days yontif. The Shulchan Aruch concluded, if a person is beyond the tchum, he doesn't get the dinim of the new chumrah of being in chutz la'aretz. What does it mean? That means whether he plans to go back to Eretz Yisrael, or he doesn't plan to go back to Eretz Yisrael. Until a person enters the boundary, the band around the city, the kilometer band around the city, he's not yet considered entered the city. He's still a ben Eretz Yisrael. Kosva Poskim, the Poskim say, Bnei Eretz Yisrael, people from Eretz Yisrael, Shebo l'chutz la'aretz, they come to chutz la'aretz. B'data lachzor, he plans to go back. B'chol Yom Tov Sheni b'erev Shabbos, and Yom Tov Sheni falls on a Friday. Ein tzorech l'orev erev tavshilim. This person doesn't have to make an erev tavshilim. Because it's something which is done in private. He therefore doesn't have to treat himself like a ben chutz la'aretz that he's in. He really is an Israeli, plans to go back. He happens to be in chutz la'aretz. He has to pretend he's keeping the second day Yom Tov, even b'tzina. He can't do malach even b'tzina. He can't do prohibited work even privately. But he doesn't make an Erev Tavshilin on that Friday. At the end of the day, he's a Ben Eretz Yisrael, and it's something which people wouldn't hear, don't know about. This performance of this mitzvah, he doesn't perform this mitzvah. The times that therefore tzrichim him dispelled for Shmon Esrei b'lachas Yom Tov Sheni. Somebody from Eretz Yisrael comes to Chutz La'aretz. For him, it is really a weekday. He's forbidden to do melacha, even b'tzina, but for him it's a weekday. Therefore, he has to daven the weekday Shmon Esrei. Unless it's Chol HaMoed, second day Yom Tov Chol HaMoed. For him, it's Chol HaMoed. He davens Chol HaMoed. Shmon Esrei. He puts tefillin on quietly. Again, he has the obligation to put tefillin on. For him, it's not Yom Tov. He can't do melacha b'tzina, but for mitzvahs he has to perform. He performs quietly in private in his room. Because he plans to go back to Eretz Yisrael, he's still an Israeli. He retains the stringencies of the halacha of the place that he does come from. As we've learned in Siman Tov Samaches. He has to wear Yom Tov clothes, because it's something which is done in public, and therefore he has to assure, it has to be clear that he's actually pretending, at least, or fulfilling the external obligations of Yom Tov Sheni as something Chutz La'aretz would. This actually sounds much simpler than it is, because it is relevant in many areas. For example, let's say he's a Ben Eretz Yisrael, he's come to his parents for Seder, and for him it's not Seder, he's returning back to Eretz Yisrael. How should he conduct himself throughout the Seder? Does he have to come to the Seder? Does he have to fulfill at least externally the mitzvahs of the Seder? What about his obligation to say Havdalah? Because at the end of the day, obligation to say Havdalah if after Yom Tov is within 24 hours, and he's got to get it. He can't therefore rely on the Havdalah of his father-in-law, which will be after 24 hours from the time he needs to recite Havdalah. When does he put tefillin on? He puts tefillin on before he goes to davening. So when does he daven at home? Does he daven in the shul? Many parameters, and also lots of machlokes about this. Many areas of interesting questions which are addressed, and many Dushu notes over here about it. Yom Tov Sheni Kilchasa, special sefer about all these halachas. Can a person land in Chutz La'aretz in an airport where nobody is there? Nobody will see him, or do we say no? What do you mean? At the end of the day, he's entered the Yishuv, and although he plans to go back to Chutz La'aretz, to Eretz Yisrael, he has entered the Yishuv, although it's not Yishuv Shel Yisrael. Maybe the airport is considered a Yishuv Shel Yisrael, maybe it's not. Maybe you're concerned about the Israelis who might be there who are non-observant, and they'll see him there, and therefore there'll be for them he has to keep second Yom Tov, or maybe no, because they'll realize he comes from Eretz Yisrael. Many questions to be discussed. The Shulchan Aruch Mishnah continues. Ben Chutz La'aretz, somebody comes the other way around. He is a Chutz La'aretz. He keeps 2 days Yom Tov. Shabbat Eretz Yisrael, where they only keep one. If he plans to go back to Chutz La'aretz, Tzarich La'aseh Shnei Yom Tov. He has to keep 2 days Yom Tov in Eretz Yisrael. Nevertheless, Tfilas Yom Tov Tzarich L'spal B'reis B'tzina. He should daven his Yom Tov davening privately in his house. Although there are people nowadays who make minyanim for B'nai Chutz La'aretz in Eretz Yisrael. They say everybody realizes that there's plenty of Chutz La'aretz people in Eretz Yisrael, and they need their own minyanim. There's discussion about that also here in Dusha 21. However, in Data Shelolach Sedim Kemel Edom, if he's now moved to Eretz Yisrael, he keeps the dinner of Eretz Yisrael, and he only keeps 1 day of Yom Tov. Commercial Vol Elbesim Tov Samaches, Ein Shabbos Bro Bi'alacha. Kos V'Achronim. The Achronim discuss what is considered exactly a Ben Eretz Yisrael, and what's a Ben Chutz La'aretz. When is it considered a person who's moved over? The Misha Oikedi Rasa, a person who moves his home, Imishta with his wife, one of his children, B'mokim from one place to another. Lisa V'litten D'Arviach, for business purposes, he moved his family to a new place. Ahol Bisha B'Shas. Akirasa, though when he moved, he planned to go back home, back to the original country. Kamish aimed at Alaxadom, he moved his family, and he's moved for business purposes. He's considered a resident in the new place. To some of the Milsfits understood, given that criminal base and Shebase by moving one's family, where he finds that Panos will be successful, or what he said, welcome in the new place, he goes there in his Osmisham, once he's moved his family and he's planning to do business here, that's considered a complete move. The cost for item furthermore, the Risha in that somebody doesn't plan to go back, although he leaves his wife at home, Mauritian in the original place, nevertheless, in that if he plans to stay in the new place, although he's left his family back at home, nevertheless it's considered having moved to the new place. We assume he'll move, I suppose we assume he'll move his family to where he is, and he's not planning to go back. He has the new status, the status of the new place. All these questions, obviously, one has to ask a shaila to a Rav. It's important to know there is a shitta, there is an opinion of the Chacham Tzvi and the Chacham Tzvi, and it could be also the Shulchan Aruch. A Rav holds like this, is of the opinion that, not like the Shulchan Aruch, he holds, the Mishnah Berurah, that he holds, the Chacham Tzvi holds, it depends purely where a person is actually during the Yontif. So you can have a Ben Chutz La'aretz who's in Eretz Yisrael for Yontif, and therefore he only keeps 1 day, and a Ben Eretz Yisrael who's in Chutz La'aretz for Yontif keeps 2 days. It purely depends where it is, but Mishnah Berurah clearly doesn't go along with this line. There's many different, very difficult, often different Rabbonim have different ways of categorizing whether a person is a Ben Eretz Yisrael or a Ben Chutz La'aretz.